Hi friends, welcome to Pragyan Tutorial. Today we will start the NCERT Science book of Class 7, Chapter 2 Nutrition in Animals, presented by Elisa Soikia. We have already learned in Chapter 1 that plants can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis, but animals cannot. Animals get their food from plants, either directly eating plants or indirectly by eating animals that eat plants. Some animals eat both plants and animals. Recall that all organisms, including humans, require food for growth, repair and functioning of the body. Animal nutrition includes nutrient, mode of intake of food, and its utilization in the body. The components of food, such as carbohydrates, are complex substances. These complex substances cannot be broken down into simpler substances. The breakdown of complex components of food into substances is called digestion. Next, we will learn the different ways of taking food. The mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. For example, bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar of plants. Infants of human and many other animals feed on mother's milk. Snakes like the python swallow the animals they prey upon. Some aquatic animals filter tiny food particles floating nearby and feed upon them. Do you know? Starfish feeds on animals covered by hard shells of calcium carbonate. After opening the shell, the starfish pops out its stomach through its mouth to eat the soft animal inside the shell. The stomach then goes back into the body and the food is slowly digested. Digestion in humans. We take in food through the mouth, digest and utilize it. The unused parts of the food are defecated. Have you ever wondered what happens? The food passes through a continuous canal which begins at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus. The canal can be divided into various compartments: the buccal cavity, food pipe, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, ending in the rectum and the anus. These parts together form the alimentary canal. The food components gradually get digested as food travels through the various compartments, the inner walls of the stomach and the small intestine, and the various glands associated with the canal such as salivary glands, the liver and the pancreas secrete digestive juices. The digestive juices convert complex substances of food into simpler ones. The digestive tract and the associated glands together constitute the digestive system. The mouth and buccal cavity. Food is taken into the body through the mouth. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. We chew the food with the teeth and break it down mechanically with small pieces. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. Accordingly, they are given different names. Effect of saliva on starch. Our mouth has the salivary glands which secrete saliva. Do you know the action of saliva on food? Let us find out. Take two test tubes. Label them A and B. In test tube A, put 1 teaspoonful of boiled rice. In test tube B, keep 1 teaspoonful of boiled rice after chewing it for 3 to 5 minutes. Add 3-4 ml of water in both the test tubes. Now, pour 2-3 drops of iodine solution in each test tube and observe. In test tube A, when iodine solution is poured, there is a color change. But in test tube B, while the iodine solution was poured, there was no change in color because the saliva breaks down the starch into sugars while chewing it. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. Different functions of the tongue. We use our tongue for talking. It mixes saliva with the food during chewing and helps in swallowing food. We also taste food with our tongue. It has taste buds that detect different tastes of food. Regions of the tongue for different tastes. The food pipe. The swallow food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. Food is pushed down by movement of the wall of the food pipe. Actually, this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. At times, the food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. Stomach. Stomach is a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened J and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into the small intestine at the other. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, digested juices. The mucus protects the lining bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digested juices to act. The digested juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. Small intestine. It is about 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from the liver and the pancreas. Its wall also secretes juices. Liver is a reddish-brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen of the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. It secretes bile juice that is stored in a sac called the gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. Pancreas is a larger cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates, fats, and proteins and changes them into simpler forms. The partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all components of the food. The carbohydrates get broken into simple sugars such as glucose, fats, into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. Absorption in the small intestine. The digested food can pass into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. This process is called absorption. The inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi. The villi increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to each surface. The surface of the villi absorbs the digested food materials. The absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body, where they are used to build complex substances, such as the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. Large intestine. It is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is egestion. Digestion in grass-eating animals. Grass-eating animals like cows and buffaloes quickly swallow the grass and store it in a separate part of the stomach called rumen. Here, the food is partly digested and is called curd. Then the curd is brought back to the mouth in small lumps and chewed. This process is called rumination. The chewed food then passes into a sac-like structure between the small intestine and large intestine. The cellulose in the grass is digested with the help of some bacteria. Animals like horse, rabbit, etc. have a large sac-like structure called cecum between the esophagus and the small intestine. The cellulose of the food is digested here by the action of certain bacteria which are not present in humans. Feeding and digestion in amoeba. Amoeba is a microscopic single-cell organism found in pond water. Amoeba has a cell membrane, a rounded, dense nucleus and many small bubble-like vacuoles in its cytoplasm. Amoeba constantly changes its shape and position. It pushes out one or more finger-like projections called pseudopodia or false feet for movement and capture of food. How amoeba feeds? Amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms. When it senses food, it pushes out pseudopodia around the food particle and engulfs it. The food becomes trapped in a food vacuole. Digestive juices are secreted into the food vacuole. They act on the food and break it down into simpler substances. Gradually, the digested food is absorbed. The absorbed substances are used for growth, maintenance, and multiplication. The undigested residue of the food is expelled outside by the vacuole. This is the figure. Conclusion. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food, and its utilization in the body. The human digestive system consists of the alimentary canal and secretory glands. It consists of the buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine ending in rectum and anus. The main digestive glands which secrete digestive juices are the salivary glands, the liver and the pancreas. The modes of feeding vary in different organisms. Nutrition is a complex process involving ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Digestion of carbohydrates like starch begins in the buccal cavity. The digestion of protein starts in the stomach. The bile secreted from the liver, the pancreatic juice from the pancreas, and the digestive juice from the intestinal wall complete the digestion of all components of food in the small intestine. The digested food is absorbed in the blood vessels from the small intestine. The absorbed substances are transported to different parts of the body. Water and salts are absorbed from the undigested food in the large intestine. The undigested and unabsorbed residues are expelled out of the body as feces through the anus. The grazing animals like cows, buffaloes, and deer are known as ruminants. They quickly ingest, swallow their leafy food and store it in the rumen. Later, the food returns to the mouth and the animal chews it peacefully. Amoeba ingests its food with the help of its false feet or pseudopodia. The food is digested in the food vacuole. Thank you very much.